Hello, everyone. I'm Bo from Brutal Commentary, and today I'm going to be breaking down our next matchup for UFC Perf. In this one, we have Jake Matthews versus Neil Magny. Matthews is 22-7 as a professional, 4-1 in his last 5 fights, currently riding a really good 3-fight win streak. Meanwhile, Magny is 30-13 as a professional and 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Looking at their last 5 opponents, for Matthews, as I said, he's riding a pretty good win streak. But before that, he had beat Darius Flowers via submission in his latest win back at UFC 291. Then he lost to Michael Morales, which, looking back on it, he probably gave Morales the toughest fight of his career. If I'm looking back on it, he gave Morales the toughest fight of his career. Now, he still lost the decision handily, but I thought he gave him much more of a challenge than anyone else we've seen Morales have. They're now currently riding a 3-fight win streak, winning a decision against Phil Rowe, Francisco Prado, and most recently, in July, submitted Chidi Ejikwani like it was nothing. He submitted him in a minute. Took that back standing, never let go of that rear naked choke. Meanwhile, Magny has fallen on some hard times. As I said, he's 2-3 in the last 5, but you look at the 3 opponents who have beaten him. Ian Gary, Michael Morales, and Carlos Prates. 2 of those are nightmare strikers who with crushing power, and one of them is a very good tactician in Gary. Of these 2 wins, however, is actually finishes too. He TKO'd Mike Malott, which derailed the hype train for a lot of people of the Canadian star, or you don't think of him as a star fight, but in Canada he's quite popular. Now, in his most recent win in August, he TKO'd Zalal Zaleski dos Santos, which was very impressive for me. As at that point in the fight, the question was, has Neil Magny suffered just at this point too much damage to survive even dos Santos? That was the question. And he still has some gas in the tank. I mean, just looking at the career of Neil Magny, he has the most wins in welterweight history. And just think of the names he's fought. Like, not even just, like, not wins, but, like, overall who he's fought, right? He's fought RDA. He's fought Robbie Lawler. He's fought, like I said, Ian Gary, Prates, Morales, Daniel Rodriguez. I'm surprised he's never fought Kevin Holland, honestly. It's just a testament to the workmanlike rate of Neil Magny to just keep going. Oh, Michael Chiesa. That's another one. See, I can just remember all these names and just think, man, Neil Magny fought that guy, win or lose. I mean, shoot, like back in the day, he fought like Hector Lombard and shit. Neil Magny has fought so many welterweights in his time. Like I said, he has the most wins in this division's history. Meanwhile, Jake Matthews, nothing to scoff at either. He's 31. He is now entering his prime, but he's been in this promotion since he was 19. So, roughly 12 years. I don't know if it's exactly 12 years or coming up, but I know he's been in this promotion for about 12 years. And you've seen him grow as a fighter to where everything he does is elite. Elite to hang with most UFC caliber fighters. His boxing is very good. He has really good power. Now, easily his best skills are, though, his wrestling and grappling. From positional awareness to just overall being able to either A, keep top pressure, 2, positional adjustments and or just changing of the positions, and 3, his submissions. He's got very good submissions. Like I said, watch that Chidi fight, the way he's able to get the back standing, and even when the body triangle is off, he still hooks onto the rear naked choke and forcing Chidi to tap. He's got a strong squeeze, man. He gets that rear naked choke. It's tough to get him off you. Now, Neil Magny, over the course of his career, even when he was trading these wins and losses and or even in his prime, he always had a clear game in mind. Being at 6'3" with a 80-inch reach at welterweight, his style revolved around 2 aspects. One, either flustering and just overall being super frustrating when he's fighting at range, his stinging jabs, those long kicks, or he drapes his opponent in the clinch and just, it's like being stuck in the mud. Most of the time, if an opponent isn't a good problem solver, they're either going to be stifled by his reach or just can't do anything in the clinch where he's just going to pester you with elbows, knees. He'll take you down. And while maybe his ground game's not the best. We've seen fighters thoroughly out-grapple him multiple times. If you're not as competent in the ground with, say, like a Michael Chiesa, or hell, even Mike Malott, who was technically winning that fight up until Neil Magny rallied back and got a win 30 seconds before the fight ended. Unless you have that level of ground skills, Neil Magny's just going to drape over you like a blanket, and you're not getting him off you. Now, I gotta say, these odds are kind of, quite frankly, ridiculous. Minus 500 for Matthews, plus 360 for Magny. Now, I'm sure these odds have changed somewhat, and some money has come to Magny. But, I mean, it's very tempting, right? Neil Magny at like plus 360 or more, or less or so. That's very hard to pass up, because we've seen Neil Magny in these situations where he's a huge underdog, rallies back, and gets the big win in a fight he's not supposed to win. But this evolution of Jake Matthews, man, I'm telling you, I don't know if he can make. I'm not saying he can make a run at the title. I'm not saying he beats like the absolute elite of the division, but I think he's primed, and I think he's poised to make a run to the rankings for sure. I mean, just look at this fucking division, man. Welterweight is stacked right now. I think, for my money, I think welterweight is the most stacked division in the UFC right now. I mean, you look at all these top contenders like Sean Brady, like Jack Della, Islam's going to be in it, Ian Gary, Prates, Shafkat. I mean, so many fucking killers too. So many killers. And while maybe Jake Matthews isn't of the level of like top 10, top 5, I certainly think he has the potential to get to a top 15 spot. Can he get past Neil Magny? I think he can. I think his grappling is superior than Magny's. I think his boxing combinations are going to help him tremendously. And he's fought fighters with a similar height and reach to Neil Magny. Like I said, Chidi, similar height and reach. Phil Rowe, similar height and reach. And Neil Magny beat him too, but you could argue he lost that fight. I think Matthews is just too primed. I think his boxing is going to be too much for Magny to handle. And I think he's a superior fighter on the ground. So, I'm going to go Jake Matthews. I wanted to say he could get a finish, like either getting the submission or... Nah, I wouldn't say knockout. Neil Magny's typically very tough to get out there unless you're like one of the more dangerous punchers in the division. I don't see Matthews as having that kind of power. He's got a good pop for sure, but I don't think he has that kind of power. So, I'm going to lean towards the decision. Submission is very live in this fight, I think. Like I said, Matthews is a good submission artist, but for my money, I'm going to go with Jake Matthews via decision. And getting a big win in his career, and possibly getting poised to get to the top 15 of welterweight. With that being said, that's been my prediction for this fight at UFC Perf. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on this fight. Next up, we'll have our featured fight, Jack Jenkins versus Roman Tavares. For my money, my favorite fight on the card, and quite possibly fight of the night. But, with that being said, I've been Bo from Brutal Commentary. I thank you all for listening. Take care.